You're watching the Cronkite Commentaries on Retirement Living TV.
Hello, I'm Walter Cronkite. Once upon a time many of us still remember, electing a new president or re-electing an old one was fun, at least for us voters. We'd get to meet a lot of politicians face to face. These presidential hopefuls would travel to where we lived, usually on a campaign train. We called it a whistle-stop tour, and pretty soon it would become clear that a few of the candidates, maybe 2 or 3, were more popular than the others. Then the party bosses, the old hands, would gather in their respective smoke-filled rooms and kick around the strengths and the weaknesses of each candidate. Nowadays, we're likely to call that vetting the candidates. It would go something like this. How about Joe Blow? No, that's that messy divorce 20 years ago. That could have been used against him. Well, what about Bill Smith? No, forget it. There was a scandal about his brother-in-law and some scam or other. Eventually, those smoke-filled rooms came out with a candidate the political kingmakers wanted to support, but they didn't have the last word. The people who were picked to go to the big political convention actually picked the candidate. So there was some suspense to the conventions that took place every 4 years. Those conventions had a real purpose. Well, that's the way it used to be. Today it's all over before it begins. The only thing left is the shouting. The party's candidate has locked in the most votes through the various state primaries held in the 6 or 8 months before the actual convention. You can blame or credit the Democratic National Committee for the system we have today. After a chaotic convention in Chicago in 1968, at the height of the Vietnam War, a commission led by Senator George McGovern recommended new rules for the states to give voting citizens more of a voice in choosing their presidential candidates. Today we have the next presidential campaign starting the day after Election Day, and the primary system has gotten completely out of hand. For many years, the Iowa caucus and the New Hampshire primary were the first 2 indicators of which candidates appealed to the voters. No doubt it gives a boost to the winners. Once it was an early testing of the waters. Today, just about every state is in the game of trying to choose the party candidates. And make no mistake, it's a game, all right, a contest as to who goes first. I call it primary hopscotch. Primaries in many states would seem to be the populist way to go. Let the people, rather than the politicians, choose our candidates. And a lot of money is wasted on the unnecessarily long and nasty campaigns. This year we've had as many as 9 candidates in each of the major parties trying to win your support. And still, we're a year away from the next election. As for the multi-millions of dollars it costs to campaign, we'll have more to say about that soon. For Retirement Living Television, this is Walter Cronkite.
And we're proud and happy to have Walter Cronkite join us for commentary each week on Daily Cafe. All of the commentaries will be added to our website at www.rl.tv.